We have 10 minutes. Um, is this making a lot of noise? It looks pretty dirty, isn't it? The paint has come off. If good afternoon from Dawn. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Sundari. Now, do you think the fan is making any disturbances? The net is going to get better, hopefully. Stockholm. Okay. It's a long way away. Okay, that's good. Thank you. It is that time of the day. Let me try this one. Okay, let's do the day 2. I think a few people are already here. We have Sundari and Dawn. We have Cynthia, Cassian, Karen, Mohan. Okay, let's do it. So yesterday we started with a bunch of ideas to play with. The reason why we are doing this is to summarize, to make one unit of shopping list, nutrition, diet, I should say diet, so that this can be adapted. So we need to understand the exact nature of the disease, the common nature of the disease, one frame, and then one shopping list. And then based on the patient's need, you can tweak it a little bit. That's it. So we are researching into the nature, the behavior, the soul of the disease. And that's not an easy thing, isn't it? Is it? I'm trying to make it easy because I spent a lot of time understanding all this terminology and similarities. For example, I mentioned yesterday, jwaram means, the word comes from jwala means flame, inflammation. Pakam means cooking with flame. So cooking with flame can be either physiology or pathology. So both are similar words, whereas inflammation from the modern medicine, it's the same thing. Body is trying to burn something off. Pyrexia is similar. And there are some biochemical terminologies such as dysbiosis, toxic kind of fermentation, acidosis, all those things are very similar, different aspects of the same process of body fighting toxins, body fighting a disease. So that, in that sense, we are looking at one framework of disease. One of the, I have expanded, added some pages. Let me share those pages with you. There you go. I added this page where you can just click and watch or click and download. So tonight I'll do the same thing. Okay. So it's the second, so added pages. Let me go into the added pages. Summary, diet matrix, foundational facts. Now, remember this is the key here. We are always looking at where the problem is. Western medicine, Eastern medicine, we're all looking for the same, the site of the disease. Where does the fight happens between balam and ama? Bala and ama, or tissue has altered. We use the word dushyam. There is a concept of dasha vitha pariksha, and it's actually eka dasha vida. So 10-fold is not really 10-fold. There are 11 folds. 11th fold is really important. This is what covers a lot of life situations that'll take us to the health coaching and life coaching rather than just a prescription and therapies. Here, the first one is tissue disease appropriate nutrition, which means tissue is suffering and disease happening in that particular tissue, which means tissue and toxins are fighting. There is a complex word in Ayurveda called dosha dushya samurchanam. Dosha dushya samurchanam. When I studied this in 1980s, I would say 1986, 1985 kind of area, I didn't have any clue about what the hell it was. And then something interestingly changed. Dosha, we are talking about the qualities. Dushya, we are talking about the tissues. Tissue quality. Sorry, one light is playing up. That's okay. Dosha, in here, dosha means ama and dushya means tissues. Ama, tissue, toxin, tissue, samurchanam, interaction. Toxin, tissue, interaction, pretty easy. Once you understand that, the Ayurveda talks about diseases, the pathology of diseases in so many different ways. Because one framework may not suit every disease, every condition. So one of them is Shatkriya Kalam, 6-stage manifestation of a disease. It's very simple. Every disease has got these 6 phases. La, 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 la. I got mine. So these 6 phases are the accumulation, aggravation. Remember those? Accumulation and aggravation, but they're the first 2 phases which happen in your koshta, gut, gastrointestinal canal. Overflow happens through the fluid. So when the toxins are overfull in the gut, leaky gut syndrome, right? Ama penetrates the weak digestive wall. Why is it weak? Because toxins were sitting in there, weakening the digestive system wall. Okay, so the 3rd phase is overflowing into the tissues, not quite getting there. So overflow of the toxins from the gut. This is the fluid part. The first 2 phases of the pathology happens in the gut. 3rd one is happening in the fluid, and accumulation, aggravation, overflow, relocation. The ama finds the location. This is the tissue we are talking about. Shaka is another word. And there, vyakri, manifestation. Once the toxins arrive in the tissue, dosha, dushya. See, the word dosha means ama in here. In every context, the word means something different. Now, in a therapeutic area, okay, let's adjust the jump. Let me see how that works. Without some kind of fan up there or down here, it'll be hard how this works. Hopefully it's a bit better. Okay. So the word dosha is exciting because this is the active principle. Dosha should be seen as an active principle. And when it comes to therapeutics, let's look at this. For a herbalist, herbs are going to change your dosha. So they're the therapeutic doshas. Herbs are the therapeutic doshas. If you have excess vada, we have vada balancing or vada correcting herb. For a cook, food is dosha. For a psychologist, words, language is dosha. For a body therapist, a stroke, bunch of strokes will be a dosha. Therapy for a panchakarma therapist, various parts of the therapies would be doshas. So this is it. For a biomechanical, like a physiotherapist, various movements and clicking and cracking would be doshas. So the word dosha is very fluid. It's like a spoon of milk. Same spoon can be used to measure sugar. A spoon of sugar, spoon of dirt, spoon of sand, spoon of rice powder, spoon of water, spoon of honey. It's the same spoon. So when we use the word dosha, we need to know this. What's the context? In therapy, physiology, dosha is a functional part, functional element, functional unit. In pathology, it's a dysfunctional unit. When we say vata in pathology, we are talking about some kind of uh, obstructed movements, distorted rhythm, excessive of one of the 6 or 7 qualities of vata. Excessive, so that'll disturb the normal function. So this word is the one word that we need to master, and it's very hard initially, only initially. Then you'll be a master. Just like a little monkey, baby monkey trying to jump one branch to another branch, one branch of the tree to another branch of another tree, especially in a windy situation, and they landed. He lands on it very nicely. So we need to master the word to that level. So dosha dusha samorchana means, in this context, dosha means ama, dusha means tissue. Because why do you call tissue dusha? Dusha means this is where dosha dances. Functioning tissues, all tissues are functioning. But when the toxins are arriving in that tissue, now it's going to be dysfunctioning tissue. So the word dusha in physiology is functioning tissue, and in pathology is dysfunctioning tissue. So in hepatitis, certain parts of the liver will be overheated, acidic. There'll be some form of burning, detox-centered bala ama interaction happening. So the word dosha dusha samorchanam is the pathology, pathogenesis, how the disease is born. So we saw the first 5 phases: accumulation, aggravation, overflow, relocation, manifestation. The 6th one is complication. So first 2 are happening, first 2 parts of the pathology happen in the gut. 3rd one in the fluid. The last 3 in the tissues. So there's another concept called dosha gati, gut fluid tissue. Gut fluid tissue. So in normal, this is really exciting and important. In normal physiology, nutrients go from gut through fluid to the tissues. Waste materials will be released from the tissues through the fluid into the gut for elimination. When I say gut, it's any cavity of evacuation. In a disease, ama is accumulating, aggravating, and overflowing. So gut, fluid, tissue. And in a typical body's attempt to release the toxins, the ama will be released from the tissues. They travel through the fluid, arrive in the gut. Now, if it is a kapha toxin, this will arrive in the stomach. Pitta toxin is the small intestine, and vata toxin is the large intestine. That's based on the chemistry. Can't really change it. But what if I have vata and kapha toxins? Based on, we'll wait. We do the stage 1 therapy or stage 2 therapy, which is snehapanam and swedanam. After the toxins are broken down, dissolved, dislodged from the tissues, they flow in through the fluid into the gut. If the stomach is causing nausea, we do the vomiting therapy. Large intestine is causing disturbances with gas and aches and pains, we do a series of bastis. So it's very logical in that sense, extremely logical. That's all we need. We need to find out the logic, right? Okay, so I was just explaining the way we look at all these words. Now, the first part is always tissue. So dusha is the key word here, tissue, disease, appropriate. So the diet is chosen based on the tissue and disease. It has to be suited to the tissues, and it should be against the disease. If possible, the diet should kill the disease. How do we kill the disease? In a typical inflammation, Ayurveda goes for detox. We remove the ama so that body doesn't have to fight. In the Western system, It's different. They stop the inflammation and expect for the best. Recently, there was a researcher here for the third time. Today, I'm at Vaidigrama. So this was a patient. So we had a little chat, and she said, "Oh, Ayurveda is very primitive, isn't it?" And of course, no one likes to hear that. Primitive in the sense not evolved. Ayurveda is very well evolved. So I said, "What do you mean by that?" No, it's an old and it's not really. I said, "Okay, so you don't really understand it. You get the result." She said, "Yeah." Okay, let's start with this. What's inflammation? She said, "Oh, immune system is fighting a microbe." I said, "What about a toxin or injury?" She said, "Yeah." An invader? She said, "Yeah." So body's immune system is fighting something that wouldn't help the body, that would harm the body. She said, "Yeah." So here, what's the problem? Is it the immune system or is it the intruder? She said, "Intruder." Okay. So what Ayurveda does is this: we remove the intruder, so the body doesn't need to attack it. She said, "That makes sense. What do you do?" And she's a medical doctor and a researcher. She said, "Oh, we stop the inflammation." I said, "Say it again." She said, "We stop the inflammation." I said, "So you leave the intruder there?" She said, "Oh, yeah, you have a point." I said, "Yeah. So which one is primitive?" I didn't wait for the answer. The thing is this: if you don't really understand our own science, then we don't know how to talk to people from other science branches of science, right? Yeah. So here we need to understand this word dosha very precisely, and we need to be flexible with it, just like a little baby monkey that can jump from one branch of a tree to another branch or another tree in the wind, still landing safely. That fluidity, agility we need to have. So when we decide a diet, we are looking at the tissue and disease process. And disease process is the same almost in everything. We saw the two halves, remember? This is page number 19, right? The two halves of the disease is deficiency and toxicity. So if I put a bunch of I don't know, 20 kilo bag on your chair, you can't sit on it, right? So the bag is replacing you. So you're missing and the bag is present. Similarly, when the toxins arrive and lodge in a part of the body, that's a place for tissues, nutrients. It's occupied by toxins. We need to understand this little bit, not just two little actors. So body has deficiency and toxicity. When something like 35 years, I read a book that said when they tested 120,000 people, all of them had deficiency. These 100, okay, let me re-say it. When they tested 120,000 bodies, dead people, they all had deficiency. Now, it is a kind of dumb. You can't just check 120,000 people. There'll be always deficiency, right? Now, when you have deficiency, then the problem is this: you're vulnerable. Your urges must be low. So this is really an important bit. We have deficiency and toxicity if we can address both of them. Yes, I'm repeating certain bits, but I think it's in a different way. If I'm boring you, just tell me. If you're getting new ideas, new angles, tell me that. I'm waiting for your response on the message box. Okay. The second part is this: once we get a list of food to nourish the entire body, especially those particular bits. Now, do we need to be that precise in choosing the right set of food items that will address the specific part of the body? Not necessarily. This is where you can relax a lot. If it is seasonally, locally farmed, there are three qualities of healthy food. Locally farmed, naturally farmed, locally farmed, and seasonally harvested. So natural food, locally farmed, and seasonally harvested. That's going to be the best food on the planet. So low food mile, natural means nothing added. It's all the natural environment. Polycrop if possible. Monocrop is kind of boring. It's good to hear this. Same here, the windy noise in the background. Okay, I'm going to put this light on in that case. Okay. It's a little bit too strong. That's better. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Okay. So tissue, it doesn't need to be that exact appropriate, but there are ways to improve your shopping list. Say you have this shopping list. You will see this on the page number, where is it? These are all the theoretical diets, the dosha diet and all those things. And then comes the Agni Sanipada shopping list. I was not happy because these red ones are not really, so 63 and 64, they're all still acidic. I'll tell you why these, shopping lists won't work. The Kapha shopping list, the Pitta shopping list, they won't work. And then we have the concept of alkalization. I'm just using that word with all these meanings. Holistic and nutrition. So there's a number of factors that we are considering, and art of eating well. So it's not just a shopping list. It's also acidic eating. We are doing alkaline food, alkaline eating, alkaline routine, alkaline mindset, etc. And then the nourishing global shopping list. Now, it's not a complete list. No one can make a complete list, right? I was going through many different books, and then various food lists, the supermarket vegetable lists from various countries. It'll be very hard to figure out all these things all the time, but this will give you a pretty good idea about. Yeah, that's right. So this is a great starters list. This is a starters list. Avoid anything that causes problem. Expand the list progressively, rotate ingredients, and enjoy a large range of ingredients every day. The first line, we'll come back to this later. Remember this bit. Okay, so this shopping list has got all those fruits and grain-like items and low-carb items. Generally, I tell them to keep an eye on these items. Even polenta is not a good idea, but sometimes in the beginning, I need to be just a little relaxed. So I don't really use a strict list, because when I put the patient under pressure, I'm making them acidic. When I'm putting them at ease, I'm making them alkaline. So you need to know all those bits. It's not just the food. How you deliver it is really important. Cool. Beans. So I might change this by tomorrow. See, rice, pasta, and all those things, they'll go, because I just started with it. I'm going to edit it. Beans. Okay, so we got all those things, and a sample pre-breakfast for a 65 kilo person. That's in here. So we are, okay, go through this. So it's just a starters one, and you're going to adapt according to the person's need. So sometimes I use this, but I give you a stricter one. So if you want to keep this, you know what you can do with the notes I have in here. So you have all access to this handout, right? So what you do is this: you go here, download. So file, download, download as a PDF, as well as Microsoft Word or plain text. I would say the first two. And then you can edit the Microsoft Word. So use this document as more like a workbook, because it's my workbook. Every day I adapt, I change. Cool. So that's good. Okay. So we were talking about the 3 bits. Where are they? 16, page 16, right? Diet types, page 2. Okay, so we were talking about we got some exciting things to go through today. Okay, I think I lost the plot. Here, this is the Tikshnam. Okay, so we are looking at the first point right now, the nature of disease. The nature of disease. So the two parts. The deficiency and toxicity, and the meaning of word dosha in different contexts. And once the shopping list, so I just showed you the shopping list. Once you need to master the shopping list, you need to know exactly which word, which item is used, in which part of the shopping list. So you can easily go there and then edit it, remove it, replace it, that kind of stuff. Because with a kind of Microsoft Word, you can easily replace a word and then print it for them. I would just convert that into a PDF and email that to them. They can print it out and stick it on the fridge. Once that is done, choose and then refine it with your qualities. Certain things are too acidic. You don't want it, right? Okay, there you go. And then making sure they are digestible. Sometimes, even though they are light, they may not be easy to digest, because things like pectin, apple skin could be a little bit difficult for some people. So even when you create a shopping list, final shopping list, give them the freedom to edit it if they are not comfortable with one item or 2 items. That's it. So that was the bit we wanted to repeat, because the page day 2 is Tikshnam and Pakam. So all these words like Jwaram, they're all indicating body is fighting the disease, right? Body is fighting the disease. Okay, where is it? So this was another thing that we view always. Okay, so this is I mentioned this part yesterday, and we have that in writing today. So Bala attacks Ama is called Jwaram, Pakam or inflammation. Bala attacks Ama deeply buried. It's called lean Ama or autoimmune. Bala outsources the detox. It's called Abhishanga, infestation. Ama stops absorption, Chaya. Or deficiency. It's Agirana Janya. Agirana means absorption. Ama stops of regeneration, Apachaya Roga or degeneration. And these are 2 minor groups. They're not really bad, like ignorable. Bala dumps the Ama elsewhere. I can't deal with it. I don't want to see it. It's called conditions like warts, callus, keloids. There are 50 plus diseases mentioned, tags and all those things. Bala hides Ama or sweep it under the carpet. Certain conditions are trapped in certain part of the body. I've seen one patient, I don't know, 25 years back. She had all the toxins below her knees. So when she sweats, she only sweats above her knees, not below her knees. So no, so skin was dry and all those things. So what we did was got her to fast for a few days with some bitter herbs, not astringent or bitter. Bitter can open up the channels. You must have studied that in the Rasa chapter. Bitter can open up, astringent can close. So that was that. Plus the legs, the oil and hot water bucket and all those things. It took 6 months, 5 months or something like that. And she had stools, a sweat, really sticky sweat for a long time, stools dark for a long time, etc. So the first time I saw this kind of localization was from a local Ayurveda healer. My cousin, same age, he had a dermatitis. He was pussy all over the body. And the Ayurveda doctor said, I can move it towards and put it in his legs. So his arms and trunk will be free from this. So they said, okay. And then it took another 6 or 9 months to clear it completely. Now, I don't know how we do that. I mean, these guys were like old Ayurvedic doctors were like masters, like miracle workers or something. So this is a really important page for you. Why important? We are framing the entire disease using 2 words, Bala and Ama. Defining, describing, talking about entire world's diseases into putting them into 5 to 7 groups and describing them using 2 words, Bala and Ama. That's it. So that tells you it is easy to understand the disease. So we were talking about the 6-word description of pathology: accumulation, aggravation, overflow, localization, manifestation, and complication, right? And the 3 words in Prapti. So this is 6 words in Prapti, and 3 words in Prapti is gut fluid tissues. Amas moves from gut through fluid to tissues, and healing happens when the tissue is cleared and that ama moves back into the gut for cleansing. And then there's 1 word, samprapti, that's dosha, dusha, samurchanam, tissue. But there are 3 words, so I don't like it. I like 1 word, dushya. Dushya comes from the word dusha. What's the best way to describe it? Dusha means the dancer. An example is the dancer. When do you call yourself a dancer? While you're in a dance, while you dance, when you dance, right? So every tissue is functioning. Function is the dance, structure is the tissue. So when it's a bad dance after completely drunk and drugged and all those things, that's a pathology. This is the 1 word pathology. Like Donald Trump dances. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think there are a couple of people from the US. Have you seen Donald Trump dance? Yeah. That's kind of dushya. That's a pathological, 1 word pathology, 1 word prapti, dushya. Also, that can be a beautiful dance, dushya. So the word dushya can be used as physiological unit of physiology, or unit of pathology, unit of natural functions and unnatural functions. Okay, so once we know we are looking for dusha, the altered tissues, altering happens with the ama and tissue, then it is easy. Now, no one gets a simple, clean disease like 1 quality is gone up or gone down. There'll be some kind of complex activities. It's like, say you have a table full of compasses, tiny compasses. Compasses means, the piece of magnet that always point towards 1 direction, right? Say I have 3,000 small compasses on my table, and I move 1 of them forcefully, and it affects all of them. They all change the direction tiny bit because they're all interconnected because of the electromagnetic force. So similarly, when the gut is slightly acidic or excessively alkaline or excessively dry or moist, it affects the digestive functions, many digestive functions at least slightly. So it all comes down to the same story. It's a disease. It has got deficiency and toxicity. In some cases, tiny bit of toxicity and tiny bit of deficiency. So it is easy. Just upgrade a few things in the daily routine. One of the best medicines, the most effective medicines, is daily routine. The moment you correct their hydration, white nutrients in their diet, the time of eating, the larger meal of the day, exercise, and sleep, there you go. You got 99% covered. The remaining bits can be addressed with something else, someone else, etc. These were the herbs and therapies, or sometimes it's a mechanical issue. For example, when the neck discs are compressed in the neck, and you get pins and needles, it's not herbal therapy straight away. You need to adjust the neck, release the tension, muscle tension, so the discs are no more compressed. When the discs are compressed, the nerve inside the disc will also be compressed, which causes a pins and needles. So every disease has got two other sides. One is a biomechanical, and the second one is a biochemical. So always you need to check for, is there any biomechanical element in this disease. For example, so you can operate one through the other. This is the beautiful thing. In some cases, to get faster results, you have to work on both. Okay. Why is that? Okay, I don't want that. Okay, so this was the added page. And I explained these words. I was trying to figure out from the medical books, where are these words overlapping and converging? And they won't really let you do that. Davidson's and other books, they won't let you agree, because that's not how they look at. They don't really look at the disease with frameworks. They use biochemistry, the minutest chemical pathways and things like that. But Ayurveda looks at it from biochemical framework. So when we say ruksha or ushna, it's a kind of framework. When we say dosha, it's a much complex, bigger framework. So this is why they can't follow us, but we can follow them. Now, this is just to show you how they are similar and different. Finally, medical textbooks agree on one thing: dysbiosis drives the toxic fermentation. So I was asking, where are they converging? Where are they overlapping? And they don't want to agree to this, because they're all different aspects of the same complex phenomenon. Dysbiosis drives toxic fermentation, which fuels inflammation, which shifts metabolism towards acidosis. See this? Dysbiosis, toxic fermentation, inflammation, acidosis, forming a self-reinforcing loop of internal ecological failure. Now, I'm pretty happy with that. If I can break one of them, the whole pathological house of cards will collapse. And you will see this as well. Okay, so we are going back to the day 2, simplified biochemistry. We did see that. Simplified biochemistry is how hot is the body, how cold is a part. So this is when many people think dosha is the backbone of Ayurveda. When it comes to the truth, it is not. Why we use the word, why we say dosha is the backbone, I think there's a reason. There's no one really tries to understand it, so it's an enigma. It's a big confusion, the white elephant. But the textbook uses it everywhere with different meanings. I didn't understand this. I didn't get this. The word had different meanings. When we talk about people, we talk about constitutions, right? Vata type and Pitta type. So among constitution, among the body's shape and person's skill set, we are talking about the Prakriti. Dosha is a Prakriti. Dosha is used as Prakriti. In physiology, the functions, various aspects of the functions are termed as dosha. So Prakriti is described using Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Various aspects of functions will be described using Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Dysfunctions, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Herbs, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Food, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Strokes in a abhyanga, massage, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Therapies, vomiting is Kapha, reduction. So it's a language, it's a one-word language or three-word language, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, to describe everything, three sides of everything, three parts of the body, Kapha, Pitta, Vata. Day, Kapha, Pitta, Vata. Night, Kapha, Pitta, Vata. So that's, I realized this in 93 when I started reading a book called Ayurveda Sangraham. Oh, no, sorry, Chikitsa Sangraham. This book is the cortical, the founder of cortical Ayurveda style wrote this book. That's where it says dosha is different in different places. That made sense. I didn't have that understanding in my 7.5-year training and 3 years of other studies and practice, and it changed everything. So it was really helpful. So we are looking at the framework: how hot is the body? Which part of the body is overheated? Where is the beginning of that heat? Was it the small intestine? Was it the large intestine? What's the stomach? And we are looking at that kind of stuff. Now, I'll give you an example for this. From the tongue, you can easily understand whether it's a stomach, small intestine, or somewhere else. So you see a red patch on the stomach, and the patient never agrees that they have acid reflux or gastritis, low-grade gastritis. That's fine. It's called silent gastritis or acid reflux. Silent acid reflux. I mean, they have it, but they don't know it. So there's no point in arguing with them. Now, the funny thing is this: the acidity affects the nearby musculoskeletal areas. I want you to write it down. Hopefully you have a pen and piece of paper. Now, acidic part of this acidity in the stomach will affect the neck, or biochemical issues of the stomach will affect the neck. So the patient comes to see you not complaining about their silent acid reflux, but their stiff neck, which is progressing towards spondylosis kind of stuff. Itis. And now treating the neck might be a temporary relief thing, an ongoing relief. It won't fix it until you alkalize the stomach. Everyone has got a low-grade inflammation these days. Everyone. If you are stressed, your body is inflamed. We're all slightly acidic. When the acidity goes to the next level, that's when you start feeling tiredness and that kind of stuff. And it grows into the joints, resulting in acid, arthritis, into the skin as dermatitis, into the gums as gingivitis. That's it. So everyone has got alkaline because we are stressed. Now, what else can acidify you? Acidic food, acidic conversations, acidic self-talk, acidic eating, acidic portion, and so on. So stomach, biochemical issues of the stomach can affect the neck. Muscular issues of the stomach can affect the middle of your back. This is an observation. Small intestine, right hip; large intestine, left hip. God, some people are book crazy. I just write down the name of the book, Chikitsa Sangraham. Okay, so small intestine biochemical issue. Biochemical issues with the small intestine. So dysfunctional small intestine give you, I'm talking about long-term issues, will give you a right hip problem and the large intestine left hip problem. So patient comes to see you with ongoing chronic right hip issues, and you start treating it with bastis and abhyangas and portleys and that kind of stuff. And okay, which disc did you say cause the mid back? Muscular issues of the stomach will cause the mid back issues. So if someone talks about chronic mid back issues, it's definitely the biochemical muscular issues of the stomach, muscular spasm. A patient may not know this. Many diseases are functional and silent. Let me do a quick search on that. Okay, not that. Okay, let me ask my favorite little guy here. I have heard of silent acid reflux and functional epilepsy where no signs are visible. Can you list all other diseases in this category? Spellings are wrong. Now my thingy is looking for cardiovascular circulatory conditions, silent myocardial ischemia, silent deep vein thrombosis, hypertension, high blood pressure, frequently called a silent killer, osteoporosis, silent disease, silent Crohn's disease. So there's a lot of diseases in that category. It's not a complete list either. Okay, so just to give you an idea. Okay, now what else? Lungs and shoulders. Ongoing shoulder problems will be most probably the lungs, weak lungs or unexercised lungs. At one stage, I thought I was making it up. Like I could find the connection. I started working on the lungs with herbs and exercises. The shoulders are fine. The shoulders improve dramatically, completely. And at one stage, I thought, oh my God, I'm just making up all these stories. And I was not. And there was the proof. Angina pectoris, you get the pectoral muscle, pectoris, chest pain when the heart is in trouble. So heart is an organ. So an organic weakness is messaged by a musculoskeletal part of the body. So when the small intestine is in trouble, the right hip talks, large intestine, left hip, lungs, shoulders, liver, right upper back, spleen, left upper back, muscular part of the stomach, mid back, kidneys, flanks, pelvic organs, sacroiliac joints. So no one gets a sacroiliac issue just by sitting down in a bad posture for a few, few months, few years. There's a reason why we have a bad posture, because the organs are weak. We are trying to accommodate, go with the flow with these weak organs. Otherwise, if you're super seriously healthy, you will be sitting like this. Otherwise, this is much better. That tells you organs are not good and musculoskeletal system is. Now, then you might say, oh, what about the kids? Yeah, I'm talking about the kids as well. Cool. Choose appropriate foods, combinations, and cooking methods. Okay, kitchen. Now, this part is really a large part. What I want you to do is work on it rather than me uh, going through each word. I'll show you the page. Now, this is an exercise to develop your brain, optimize your brain so that you can learn each ingredient in a unique, learning its uniqueness. That's the whole idea. So you are kind of, for example, I have a friend whose cousin is a Hollywood sound engineer. So we were just sitting in the evening outside on the steps, looking at the skies and moon and stars, talking about just normal things. And I said, I didn't know he was a sound engineer working in Hollywood. So something led to another thing, and that led to another thing. I said, oh, I want to play this music for you. And boom. He said, oh, that must be, what is it, 140 bit rate or something like low quality. I said, oh, how do you know this? So I checked it on my laptop. It was. That's when he said, oh, I'm a sound engineer. I was working for this movie, this movie, this movie. We had to squeeze it out of him. Now, their eardrums are trained to read all these things. Similarly, we need to train your brain to go deep into each food items. And I'm going to give you an exercise. This might last for a few days, and it's called culinary apothecary. So I did this to do a one-day training. Why is this playing up? Okay. Culinary apothecary in the clinical practice. So imagine you're practicing herbalism just using the kitchen herbs. That was the whole idea. Now, there are some abbreviations. C means cooling, H means heating, N means neutral, L, light, G, heavy, K, alkaline, A, acidic, and so on. So do your little reading. Then health conditions, remedies, how to, what's the dosage, that kind of stuff. At the moment, I'm not asking you to be precise the dosage and that kind of stuff, but I want you to look at all these things. General rules of opposites. An irregular system needs rhythm. A delicate system needs gentleness. Delicate system cannot be treated harshly. Sluggish system needs stimulation. So this is just another way of looking at the healing process. Now, I'm going to explain all these 38 different items that are mostly found in your kitchen, using qualities, tastes, doshas. 3D means 3 dosha, reducing organ system issue. For example, bowel. So it works on the bowel in a very HLADI way with these 2 flavors, 5 predominant and 4 secondary. So once you get this, this is the herbs, right? These are all herbs. So I'm just simplifying it. You can expand it. So each of them, Amala can have, I don't know, 50 different descriptive functional word description. But let's start with simple steps. And there are 38 items, including vinegar. And I think, there could be something that's not found in your kitchen. Like, oh yeah, lotus is found in your kitchen. Saffron is. Tamarind, turmeric, pomegranate, nigella. Nigella, the chef? No, it's a black cumin. Lemon, lime, gourd cola. Gourd cola may not be a good, normal one, but, I'm just squeezing that in. Yeah, charcoal, and these 2 are not commonly found. Galangal is a common one in Indonesia. Now, what I'm doing is this, I'm suggesting is go through this prescription protocol. So ADHD. So general ideas are given in here. Correcting, how do you correct it? Dill, fennel, ginger, basil, add 1% of saffron. So if it is 100 grams, so 3, 3, 1, 2 means parts. 3 parts, 3 parts, 1 part, and 2 parts each with 1% saffron. So this could be a culinary prescription for ADHD. Because you are warming the system gently, basil will make sure the nutrients will be transported from gut to brain, ginger, gut to everywhere, fennel, gut to hormones, enzymes and hormones, dill, enzymes and hormones. So how do you know it's hormones and enzymes? You read the description of that particular herb in detail. So that's the example I'm going to give you. Absorption, weak absorption. So they'll be correcting 1, 2, and cleanse. So all those things are listed here. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the numbers, and 2 parts, 6 part, 1 part, and 1 part. So go through this. This gives you an idea about how do you come up with a recipe. I think, thousands of years back, our grandmothers and mothers came up with cooking, culinary recipes like this. They tried all those things without paper and pen, of course. So this goes for, it starts on page 120 and it goes until 44. So what is it, 25 pages. This is more like an exercise rather than a real treatment protocol, clinical program, but you will love it. How do you work with toothache? So I want you to read all these ingredients inside out. There are 5 books you can buy from Orion Longman. Let me see whether I can find them. Google Orion Longman, Indian medicinal plants. There you go. I want the images. There you go. In Indian Medicinal Plants, Volume 5. This is Volume 3. This is Volume 4, 2. So write this down. Indian Medicinal Plants, 5 volumes. It should cost you around, I don't know, maybe $100. Each book will have 100 plants, herbal plants, Ayurvedic plants described in detail, and it'll be shocking. I've got a few pages stolen. IMP PDF. Is it somewhere here? No. Yeah. There you go. Volume 1. Might take a second. I'll show you how they describe each plant. So I'm not saying you should buy this, but when you learn something, whether it's food or herb, kitchen herb or clinical herb, what's a common plant? Abrus, Precatorius, Acacia, Catechu. Yeah, Acacia, Catechu. This is a very good skin medicine. Ghadidarishtam. Look at the way they describe this plant. Bark is useful in melancholia, conjunctivitis, and hemoptysis. The heartwood is bitter, astringent, acrid, cooling, depurative, anthelmitic, antiseptic, anti-dysenteric. See this going on and on and on and on. And all these are coming from textbooks, other textbooks. So this is the textual, the references, Sanskrit with transliteration. Also, what's the next page? Yeah, so it gives you a seriously elaborate. So you you look at how this is used in various recipes, and if they use it in a, is it coming up, showing up in the indications? And how do these masters or your teachers use them in the clinic, with what results? Then the textbooks, you're reading it, and there are two sides of the textbooks. One is, this is the herbal book, so you read the herbal book, and then you do the therapy book. Shangarhridayam has got a Chikitsa Sthanam, therapeutic section. You look at how it is used in there. This is how you study first 10 herbs, then your brain is designed, optimized to learn it. So this is what we did to get some ideas about this kind of stuff in 1980s and early 90s. Okay, here we go. So this will be an interesting exercise. This is designed to give you the best exercise when it comes to food. We are using the herbs and spices, because they are much more potent than the fiber-filled, starch-filled vegetables. But this is an exercise thing, that's it. Because working with generally vegetables and fruits and nuts and all those things are much easier than these guys. Cool. So page number. Yeah, there's a sample thingy as well. I don't know whether you saw that while you're flicking through it. Kitchen Apothecary, and I've written down here, read an extended version of later on. Okay. Page number 62. Let's go back to the page number 4 or 5. There you go. So this part was all about giving you an exercise for the next few weeks to go through the recipes and try to figure out why this is used in here. Because if a plant can be explained using at least 100 functional words like digestive, metabolic, thermogenic, anti-melancholic, and all those things, at one stage you'll be able to describe it in 10 words. We can summarize that into 3 words and 1 word. That's it. So when we talk about Gudu Churamrda, I know I can summarize it in 1 word: circulatory. You need 2 words: immune tonic, because of the bitter flavor in it. Ginger, digestive. Another word, metabolic, and so on. So if you can, it's like this: you got a best friend. How do you describe them in 1 word? You can. You can spend the whole day describing them, but what we need is 1 word. When you have 1 word description to start with of, say, 50 different herbs, 50 different superfoods, then we are talking about using them like a master. Now, the kitchen. Where's my kitchen? Kitchen Apothecary. Did you see this page? This is another one for you to play with. Okay. Yes, your kitchen is full of superfood. When I mentioned superfood, you must have you must know this already. But every kitchen has got superfoods. Like millets are superior to normal rice. Quinoa is superior to brown rice, is superior to white rice. So it's a relative thing in a way. So it's just nothing, but there are. Pulses and legumes. Mung is superior to many other. Chana is superior. Rajma is superior. So I just wanted to give you some ideas about, we're already on superfoods. Now, if it is a superfood, it might have low carbohydrate and high. So whatever, if it is full of something, it will be less of everything else, right? It's like a motorbike. two-wheel drive, you can park almost anywhere. But the balance is an iffy thing. If you lose a little bit of balance, you're in trouble. Whereas a four-wheel drive, you can't park anywhere. You need to have more space. But even if you lose even if you lose the balance in the car, it's not that bad. A little loss of balance, but the problem is it needs its own large parking spot. So similarly, everything has got good and bad. There's nothing just good. If there's something just good, that doesn't exist. So it is important to look at superfood in that way. If you digest what you eat really well, it is fairly super. And if you're eating nutrient-dense food, rainbow, then you're one of the best. So go through all these things. Spinaches compared to other bits, drumstick leaves. This is being banned in some countries because drumstick leaves are banned in some countries, Australia, because it's too good. Turmeric, ginger, garlic, cumin, fenugreek. Now, when it comes to quick energy, ask a cyclist, mentioned it yesterday. They say carbohydrate, grains are superfood. Aha. So you're looking at the entire thing in a very simple, logical set of eyes. Cinnamon. Now, chili has got vitamin C. So when it comes to heating up the system, making your sweat glands work better, and you need some vitamin C, chilies will be super. So everything is superfood in a sense, but say for a normal life, what sort of superfoods you need? When you have an acidosis, acidic or low-grade inflammation. Now, when I said low-grade inflammation, everything is low-grade inflammation. It is scientific. Everyone is stressed, so we are all inflamed and acidic. They found even schizophrenia was an inflamed brain condition, but they couldn't fix it with anti-inflammatories because the brain won't take it in. What if we inject it? Yeah, don't want to think in that way. The point is this, we're all acidic in that sense. Every disease is the same, acidic. Dairy, fermented ghee and curd. Curd is an Indian word. It's dahi is the Hindi word. The original word is, or Western word is yogurt. So others like coconut, honey. And this is just a small list. Every country will have a large list of superfoods. Now, there are other superfoods, like most expensive superfoods, like a Himalayan caterpillar fungus, $20,000 a kilo. Saffron, is it $5,000? Maybe. Manuka honey can go up to $300 a kilo. Edible bird's nest. So there are other things as well. You can get Japanese and Chinese, what's it, lion mane, mushroom, and all sort of stuff. So mushrooms are amazingly expensive, and some of them, not all of them. There are some questions coming up, interestingly. Can you repeat that first number means then words and the second number? Okay, I think you're all sleeping. My voice is very melodious. Okay, the first number is number 1, 2, 3, 4. The second number is portions of parts. 3 parts, 2 parts, 1 part. So say you have a recipe with 3 things, let's say it's 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts. So you can take 1 spoon, 2 spoons, and 3 spoons, or 1 gram, 2 grams, and 3 grams each. So that's 1 part, 2 part, and 3 part each. Kazian says, does the spice brand make a difference? You don't need to go that lane. That's a rabbit hole. Just get the best brand you can afford, and that's it. Quality any spice from the some same properties. Look, different batches from the same shop might be different. So this is where, if you have access to the farmers, you get it seasonally appropriate, fresh items. Some seasons they don't really perform really well. So this is why. This year, chilies are not that hot. What the heck? Yeah, that's how it is. And flax seeds heating. Yeah, most seeds are heating because of the oil content in it. Now you're looking at which one is less heating and more heating. Like cucumber seeds, they're cooling relatively. They're all having oil. Oil is fat. Fat is fatty acids. Acids are heating. So this is where you can, connect the two different systems. All oils are fat, and all fats are fatty acid dominant, and fatty acids are acid. Acids are heating, burning. So, like they talk about milk is cooling, right? Yeah, if you can absorb. If you don't, it's heating. It acidifies you. But among the milk, buffalo's milk will be the most cooling, because buffalo spend a lot of time in the water on the cooler side of the world, whereas camel's milk is the most heating. Now, after drinking the camel's milk, the camel's calf won't go. We're just talking about mild, minute, tiny level degree of heating qualities or cooling qualities. But if we can get a little cooler or hotter for a particular condition, that's the best. All milks are nourishing, right? The baby's calves, they grow just by drinking those milks. So they're not really like hot as chilies or garlic, cumin, not even like cumin. So they're all cooling and nourishing. Sometimes certain food items or herbs, you'll have to use the appropriate word. So some herbs we'll have to call them rejuvenative. Heating and cooling won't really make any sense to saffron. Saffron is rejuvenative, full stop. Heating and cooling, drying and moist, none of them really matters. Whereas when it comes to chili, we can say it's hot and acidic. Yeah, if we can go through that heat acidic part and still absorb the chilies, then the vitamin C makes any sense. Whereas gooseberries, Indian gooseberries, we can say vitamin C or rejuvenative. The cooling won't really make any sense. Certain items will have a particular set of qualities or functions dominating. So we need to understand which one is that and what are those functions or qualities. Okay, so I think I handled all those questions. Extra bits. So that's where all these bits and pieces are coming. Okay, most expensive superfoods. Oh, these are big questions. Can we say that if the body cannot digest something, it tries to anyway, and it tries to anyway, and that creates an acidic environment in the digestive tract? You're absolutely right, Karen. If you can't digest the food, and generally body flushes it. I'll give you an example. It's a good question. There's an example. Say 50 people ate from a restaurant, and one dish was common to all of them, maybe water. It was contaminated badly. And within no time, 20 people vomited. Another 15 people had diarrhea and vomiting. So what is it? 20 plus 15, 35. And the remaining people didn't vomit or poop. They collapsed. Out of those last 15, all of them got admitted. The last 15 who didn't vomit and purge or poop, they were in critical shape, critical situation. The people who vomited and pooped escaped. Do you know why? Body was strong enough to recognize the toxicity, and straight away immune system said vomit. Plus 20 people did it. As soon as the food arrived, they vomited because the immune system Balam recognized it. It went slightly into it, stomach and small intestine. That's when the immune system detected in the next 15 people. And the system said vomit and poop. Some in the stomach, some in the small intestine. And the rest of them didn't have any issue for the first few minutes, and then they collapsed, still didn't vomit. So you were right. When the body does a vomit or vomiting or diarrhea, it's a good thing. So diarrhea is a good thing in that sense. We need to get rid of the toxins as quick as possible. Vomiting is a good thing, but we need to get rid of the toxins as quick as possible so we don't need to vomit and poop. Because we are trying to get rid of the toxins, right? Body is trying to get rid of the toxins when they arrive in the skin through inflammation called dermatitis. So what if we remove the toxins quicker than the body can? That's the whole idea behind healing. Anatomy of an Illness, that book, Norman Cousin says, pure healing is about removing the disease as fast as possible, as complete as possible, and as easy as possible. It's exactly what Vagbara said about pure healing, Shuddha Chikitsa. Vagbara added one more thing. He said, when you cure a disease, you won't create another one. That's it. So the definition of pure healing is you're making the healing faster, more complete, and easier. Such a healing is the pure healing. Bhagavata adds one more thing. When you remove a disease, you don't create another one. So recently I saw this prescription, 4-5 pills on one side of the prescription. This is a neighbor with asthmatic bronchitis. And he said, I'm on this program. I said, okay, how are you doing? I got all the side effects. I said, what do you mean? Oh, they all have side effects. I said, okay, what do you do? He flips the paper. On the backside, there are other 4 tablets. When you have side effects, you take those 4 tablets. I said, what's the third page? He said, what do you mean? When you have side effects from these 4, what are the other 3 to take? Now, we are talking about when you remove a disease, you create another one or more. Now, when you look in terms of biochemical pathways and molecular medicine, this is the beauty and the beast. This is the cuteness and the disaster. Because they know the pathway, they think cutting that line can fix the problem. Sometimes not so easy. Okay. So we were talking about some exciting bits of how to understand a food item through an exercise. And the last bit today is quick exercise, choosing common conditions, sinusitis. Yes, the same thing. Anga roga. Anga means organ or tissue. Roga means disease. What remedy from your apothecary. So these 2 points are the exact 2 things we just saw. Now, when you look at ADHD, for example, I want you to look at ADHD from various angles. One, the medical angle. The other one, the Ayurvedic angle, if there is any example. The third one is patient's angle. Patient's angle is this. I'll give you a little story. 7-year-old kid wouldn't sleep. Parents are really busy. Dad is seriously busy. Mom is amazingly busy. So they don't have time for the kid. They made a kid, but they don't want to pay attention. So the boy has got 3 nannies, 8 hours each. They're happy to pay any money as long as the nannies look after the kid. And they have 3 amazing nannies or babysitters. Can't focus, can't do one thing at a time, scattered, confused, always throwing tantrums, always emotional, intense, extreme ADHD, and a 7-year-old boy. So what I want to do, the simplest of the simplest, is he's not going to eat anything that I'm going to suggest. He's not going to go to bed because he can't go to bed, can't fall asleep. So what's one simple thing that you would think? I thought oil. I thought Dhanvantaram oil. I said, okay, I'll give you this on one condition. You spend 2 hours with him, and his father spends 2 to 3 hours with him per day. She said, oh, that'll be very difficult. I said, see you later. She just sat there, kind of lost, and said, okay, I'll organize it. Okay, call your husband. So they had a little chat outside the clinic. I don't know why she had to go outside. She comes back after maybe 4 or 5 minutes, sits down. She said, we have decided to spend 3 hours each with him. Morning him, father, evening me. So okay, great. Good decision. Now, if that's the case, this is the treatment. Apply this oil warm all over his body and let him around in a safe room, where he can fall down without any drama. And then 20 minutes, it should be in a warm room. Could be bathroom, large one. So put some kind of, I don't know, some kind of cushiony thing. And then put him in hot bath for 20 minutes, if possible 30. Third day, the mother calls saying, we have started doing it and it's really working. I said, what do you mean? Because I was curious. I didn't know how it's going to work. It's based on some kind of mathematics. The mathematics was ADHD is a dehydrated nerve, dry nerve. And we need to oleate it, warm it, and all those things. And she said, it's very strange that he cries while he's in the bath. I said, okay, what sort of cry? Yeah, that's funny. It doesn't have any tears. It's just a noise that comes out of his deep core. Okay. No, the changes. He must be a little bit calmer. You don't know why, right? Anyway, a month later comes back saying, sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night. Like midnight, he falls asleep. He's tired, yawning. And by 4 o'clock, he gets up. Anyway, it took 6 months before things changed. During this time, I started introducing various oils internally as well. The guy was drinking Coca-Cola, Sprite, and that kind of drinks, not water, initially, and eating chips and that kind of nutritionally invalid, nutrient-free food items. I want to share that little question today. Now, if the carbohydrates are out, which industry will be out? Repeat that question. If carbohydrates are out, which industry would go out of business? Anga means organ or tissue. Roga means disease. So kitchen apothecary template, blank structured, simplified by chemistry reference card. Okay, so we covered all those bits. So I'll wait for your questions. I'll start with your answer. It's one industry that'll go out of business if we stop carbohydrates. Drinks industry, good one. There's another one. Yeah, drinks and alcohol the same, right? There's another one, big one. I mean, alcohol is big, right? There's another industry that goes out of business like crazy. Fast food, exactly, or junk food. That's not even fast; it's junk. So alcohol, junk, fast food. Yeah, chips and coffee. Coffee, I got a different opinion on coffee and tea. When you look at, I've met a lot of nutrition experts. I don't think coffee is bad. It's just like anything else. Coffee has got a lot of antioxidants, just like tea. And coffee and tea are kind of opposite to each other. One has got more tannin than the other one. The other one has got more caffeine than the other one. Both of them are both of them have caffeine and tannin. So coffee has got more caffeine and tea has got more tannin. Both of them are amazingly nutritious. They're all herbal, right? I had this naturopath leaving after a consultation. She stopped and turned around and said, can I ask you one more question? I said, of course. And she said, what about coffee? I said, what about it? What do you think about coffee? I said, in what respect? And she said, is coffee good or bad? I said, good coffee is good, bad coffee is bad. No, no, I'm talking about the chemicals. I said, everything is chemical. Stop breathing. It's oxygen, chemical. And she's struggling. And I said, I know what you're asking. She said, what? I have one coffee. Can I have it? She said, yeah. I said, did I say no coffee? She said, no. Then we can have coffee. I said, oh, thank you very much. Now, the need for coffee is the issue, not the coffee itself. The need for coffee. What does coffee do? What does black tea do? They increase your circulation, increase the thermal, the body heat. What else does the same thing? Exercise. Ginger does it, cumin does it, garlic does it, tea does it, coffee does it, exercise does it. So maybe it's time to get into the right kind of exercise that will actually optimize, that would actually optimize your circulation and work with your body temperature. And then you won't need it, but you can have it. Okay. So when the carbohydrates are gone, the simple carbs are gone, then the junk food is gone, the alcohol is gone. What else? The fast food is gone. Also, the restaurant industry will be struggling. There's a page on the handout that says most of the diseases will vanish. So all these huge hospitals will have to shut down. So the carbohydrate industry is not going anywhere. Even nutrition therapists, practitioners are taught about the glories of carbohydrate, while in reality, carbohydrates are inflammatory, disease generating, sedative, making you feel sleepy and tired, clogging, all the channels get slower and slower, constipation. I don't know whether you used it as a child, as a school kid. Whenever I need glue, my mother would make some overcooked rice. Perfect glue. It's a glue. So the question would be this, how come we're all eating? Yeah, why? How come you're eating carbohydrate? There's nothing in it except the quick energy. Like, do you think a beggar can buy a house out of the $1 or $2 he gets from people? But if you have a salary, weekly salary, monthly salary, you can talk to the bank and then They'll help you buy a house. So a beggar's $1 is equal to the carbohydrate energy that we get. It's not bodybuilding. It's a temporary band-aid that will cause a lot of problem. Okay, I'm waiting for your questions. What happened? Did I put all of you to sleep? If you're not asking any question, we'll come back tomorrow. Hey, there's one. This is concerning. What is the alpha-gal syndrome? Very common in my area. This is a concerning alpha-gal. Never heard that before. What kind of dietary interventions do you recommend when a patient reacts to meat and dairy products? So first question would be this, why are they reacting to those two things? If you have to react to meat, what are the options in reaction? Dairy products, what is the element in the dairy product that triggers this? Alpha-gal syndrome is AGS, is potentially life-threatening allergy to the sugar molecule galactose alpha-1 3 galactose found in red meat from mammals like beef. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so alpha-gal syndrome is a potentially life-threatening allergy to the sugar molecules galactose. Now, when you look at the sugars, fructose, what are the sugars that you know? Glucose, fructose, sucrose, galactose, right? They're all sugars. What do sugars do? Acidify you. When the acidity is super strong, what happens? Yeah, immune system. Okay, what's the next question? Could you explain Chikitsa Sangraham and the insight about dosha and dosham? I just did. So I want you to rewind the video and watch it again. Stress is mostly the... Okay, so there's a lot of little things coming up. This is concerning alpha-gal syndrome. Yeah, so the body is already acidic at a super strong, deep level. Now the next drop, you know that phrase, the last straw that broke the camel's back, is exactly this. So they were pumping some kind of sugars into their system, carbohydrates into their system, and one more molecule, bang, life-threatening. What kind of dietary interventions do you recommend? Yeah, so start with nutrient-rich, low-carb eating plan. This exact plan we are talking about in the next few days with more details that you saw right now. Karen, Shadrasa's plate has grains, vegetables, legumes, right? And grains are carbohydrates. Karen is trying to catch me. Been here a couple of times. Okay. Now, Shadrasas, sweet, sour, salty, xylene, bitter, pungent, and astringent. They got these 6 words have got 2 different meanings. The first meaning is visibly left in the textbook or visibly placed in the textbook. The second one, it's hidden. It's there, but it's hidden. So most people don't see it. I didn't see it until I got the same questions. How can the sports people can live without carbohydrates, grains, potatoes, and perform like champions, because they're champions, right? And we are doing all these carbohydrates because they're sweet and so really vital. This question really nagged me for a long time. Then I realized, in a general sense, you need all the 6 flavors, where sweet is carbohydrates. But the therapeutic side is sweet is essential nutrients. Sweet means all the essential nutrients. So write it down. Sweet or swadu or mathura means all essential nutrients. What are the essential nutrients? Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, proteins, complex carbohydrates a tiny bit that come in the vegetables, and occasional fruits. That's it. Now, spinach, isn't it sweet? Carrot, beetroot, aren't they sweet? Even cabbage is slightly sweet. So you don't need grains to make it sweet, right? The textbook is written for, in my view, in my understanding, 2 different people. One was the chieftains and the leaders of the, social leaders, powerful people at that time. They loved girls, wine, and starch, carbohydrates. They were religious. So, every textbook in Ayurveda starts with glorifying the God. And one of the masters said, there's no such a thing as God, and we respect him as well. When you look at the definition, anyhow, we don't want to go there. But the point is this: if sweet is all essential nutrients, including calcium for your bone and vitamin K and you name it, everything, then what are the other flavors? What do they say? I want you to do a little bit of thinking before you ask this question again until Friday. You've got 2 more days to think and do some research. What does sour means if the sweet is all the essential nutrients, nourishing nutrients, right? What saline means? What's bitter? What's astringent? What's acrid? Think about it. Okay, Shadrasa. So Karen, I think I answered that question. If you're not really happy, ask me again. Today, now, stress is mostly the biggest reason why human body is imbalanced. How Ayurveda can help reduce stress? Remember yesterday we went through the 10 dominoes of disease. Can you tell me which are those 10 dominoes? And then we will discuss that. Katrina, tick reaction, Lyme disease or Lyme-like illnesses is alpha-gal. When I looked at what it is, this is what my uncle Google mentioned. Alpha-gal syndrome, AGS, is potentially life-threatening allergies to the sugar molecules galactose alpha-1, 3-galactose alpha-gal. Gal means galactose. Alpha means first, or the dominant, found in red meat from mammals like beef, pork, and lamb, as well as products like dairy and gelatin. It typically develops after a bite from certain ticks, such as the Lone Star tick in the US, with reactions delayed 2 to 6 hours after, including. So that's how it starts, right? For some reason, this tick bite is injecting such a level of acidic liquids and one more acidic drop from galactose or carbohydrates or sugars become a big issue. Now, how do we treat this condition? We treat it as inflammation. Start with this alkaline diet, the ultimate diet or alkaline diet. I would put them on fasting if I can. If they're in India, I would do that. In the other countries, I don't know what the rules are. But one of the last 2 pages, maybe in the second last page, I've described the 7-day fasting I did. That can be improved. So the treatment will be this. So you're looking at the pathology precisely. So something, so study the injected material, the chemistry of the injected material. So do some research. Don't just think it is tick. What does the tick inject us with? What's the chemistry of that? Do some research, and then you'll realize it's extreme acid. Poisons are all acid-based, generally speaking. Of course, there are other bits and pieces, but they will have a similar acidic nature to it. Okay, so here, how you treat this condition? There's no one pill. Fasting is really very badly frowned upon, so there's no cure. Fasting is one of the best things for all these conditions. I've treated a lot of allergies while I was in India with fasting. Sometimes even after 3 days, they are not more allergic. Okay, it's called mammalian meat allergy. The tick triggers it. That's it. So you need to look at the whole picture. What are the steps in it? What's the step one? Of course, tick bite. What's injected? Something acidic. And now the system is acidic, and there are pockets that can react. Could be part of the immune system, I don't know. And then it's the same thing. That's how we learn all these bits. Sure. Good evening, Dr. Rama. Salutations. Cool. Okay. La, la, la. Sorry about that. So tell me, what's the next question? Waiting for your question. Okay, there you go. No more questions. Can you repeat what you say about stress? I didn't get it. I gave you 10 dominoes the other day. It's in your handout. I want to tell me what those 10 dominoes are. Then I can start working on it. I noticed in your notes regarding the Nacharya, you recommended Dhanvantari oil. It's not Dhanvantaram oil. Why particularly that one? It really helps in anti-stress purpose. It's a very warming, moistening oil. It tones. So warming, moistening in qualities, toning and firming and pain killing. So accelerated cell repair. I'll give you a story. This guy came to see me after not going to the gym for 6 months. He did something with his abdomen and tore something, a few muscles. So when the doctors, now he's on painkillers, but he's not improving at all. So what I did was I asked him to use the oil as a poultice, warm poultice. But I used the higher potency oil called Dhanvantaram 51. Dhanvantaram 51 or Dhanandaram 101. So apply it and put a rubber sheet and warm, warm water bottle, not hot water bottle. It took around 6 days. The pain stopped. I said, don't go to the gym yet. We did it for like 2-3 weeks, and then he started doing gently, boom, back to normal. Okay. The disease dominoes. Exactly, Don. Ignorance, unrealistic expectations, and stress. So, stress is a product of unrealistic expectations, and that's a product of ignorance. Ignorance means you need to know certain things, but you don't. For example, you have children and you don't know how to deal with them, they're stressing you. Do some reading, do some training, so you can be the best, and you can enjoy your parenthood. Then every minute with them will be rewarding you. You bought a car, but you don't know how to use certain parts of the car, which stresses you. Stop and spend a few hours or minutes, learn about it. So ignorance means I need to know this, but I don't. But you have the same level of expectation. I've got a sports car, I need to be going fast. But you're putting it on double echo, you can't go fast. You have to flip those little thingies up. Then you're going to vroom, vroom. So if you don't know, that's called ignorance. But while you don't know, you have the same expectations, which can stress you. So it's all about understanding stress. Stress is usually 90% of the time it's a subconscious thought, a useless subconscious thought. You can put your body under stress by carrying excessive weight on your shoulders or on your head. That's not the stress we are talking about. Driving for like 10 hours a day for 10 days in a row. Yeah, that is stressful physically, but your mind will be more stressed. So we are talking about the mental stress here. Okay, so how do I handle the stress? I try to understand the stress first. Where's it coming from? How is it happening? What do you think while you're being stressed? There are many definitions of stress. If you know the definitions, tell me. We'll start from there. One more point about Dhanvantaram oil. In the north, they use more Narayana Thailam, and in the south, more Dhanvantaram. It's not a super fact. You could meditate daily. Meditation really is not the primary remedy. Meditation brings your attention to the stress triggers and stress processes. You need to actually fix this. Meditation doesn't do that kind of, it doesn't really fix anything. It might get your attention to that process. For example, in the middle of the night, the guy jumps up and goes, oh my God, I forgot to buy this, this, and this, and my wife is going to kill me. So that's a perfect example for what the meditation does to us. It brings our attention to our priorities. There's a one. If appetite is not to be trusted as a guideline when dealing with disease state, what about the tongue's state and the capacity to do complete morning bowel motion? Oh my God, I need to read this properly. La 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 la. La 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 la. If appearance is not to be tested as a guideline when dealing with disease states, I mean, many people don't really tell you the truth. And if they're acidic, they'll be hungry like hell. So that cannot be trusted. In some cases, the hydrochloric acid becomes so bad they're not hungry at all. So they make up some story. I eat 3 meals a day, so I'm hungry. So every time it becomes a long, conversation, endless conversations. What about the tongue state and the capacity to do a complete morning bowel motion? Tongue state. Generally, tongue is the best to use to understand what's going on in the body and mind. Bowel movements, again, they can make up stories. How do you know? Say you can trust all those things, then most probably you will be with the cleaners. Are they still valid guides to the state of digestive system? Yeah, I don't want to trust the patient at all. It is a bad statement, but I don't want to rely on the patient. Rely on the patient's primary responses about their sleep, appetite, bowel movements, how they feel, because most probably they'll be all edited and beautified for you. Imagine this: the patient is arriving at the door, and you go, "How are you doing?" They say, "Fantastic. How are you doing?" Now, yeah, it is a social thing, and this can seep into the medical situations as well. Example is this: I asked the husband, patient, "Do you get gas and bloating?" And he said, "No." I said, "You do get gas and bloating?" "Oh, yeah, it doesn't really bother me." I asked the wife, "What do you think?" She is shell shocked by his response. She said, "I need to aerate the entire house for 3 hours after his fart." Now, what are the odds? If you start trusting whatever they say and you don't have a non-verbal method, then good luck. La, 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 la. Yeah, you need to have something like a pulse or iridology or tongueology or gateology, posturology. I don't know. You can read a posture and come with the most accurate assessment. Pulse is very common. And it says, "Thank you." Okay, then. If you got all the answers, then I got all the questions. See you tomorrow for the next hour. I'll try my best to download all these videos. Most probably you'll get it by tomorrow morning, my 9 a.m. Thank you very much for another day, and we got 3 more days to go. Tomorrow is another exciting day, and once we put all these things into a plan, a flexible, adaptable plan, then you'll realize it's so simple. That's what I want to make you feel like. One more question. Okay, one more question. I need to rewatch yesterday and today's session. Yeah, there's a lot of information. I'm not going to hold back on those kind of stuff. I want you to rewatch. Would you like to be credited when we are using your notes? No. I have already adapted some of them today for patients. Fantastic. Um, not at all. Yeah, the thing is this, the lineage works in this way. The teacher teaches you, you take what you understand, try it, optimize it, and then share it to your students. That's it. So by the time it's 10 generations, it'll be the most amazing system. That's very generous. Come on. Yeah, I like it. Thank you very much. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. All the best. Talk to you soon in about 22 hours.